Hey everybody. I thought as crazy as it sounds, I thought I'd give some advice on how to make some fan vids, if you will, Sonic related fan vids. Some advice, if you will. And I talked about this briefly this morning when I kind of explained why I like doing it and showed it, kind of give you a behind the scenes look. But quite honestly, the advice is really simple. I mean, first of all, the most important thing you want to do is research. That's right, you want to do some research. And what I mean by research is you want to research on YouTube if a song is available or not. And if said song is not available, then basically choose another. The best advice is not just research on YouTube for the song that you want to use, but also research on Wikipedia as well, the song that you want to use. So that way you can have an idea of who currently holds the rights to it, what record label. Because your best chances sometimes are labels like Sony, Universal, EMI, RCA, and even WMG. Those are your best chances. Others out there may not be as, fortunate. Like I've said before, like I've mentioned before, I tried to do my Live to Rise fan vid, and it always gets blocked. It's blocked worldwide, and if I don't take it down, I'll get a strike. Or something like that. So that is one thing you need to do. You need to research the song you want to use and make sure that it's available either on YouTube and also when you go to Wikipedia or even Google it or Bing it, if you will. Try to see who holds the rights, like a record label. Another piece of advice is always make sure you have the best software. You have a software you could trust. Like here, this here is Windows Movie Maker. And this is not the updated version, it's the XP version. But if you're used to that and you can trust whatever version you have of it, then use it. Of course, there are others like ULED, of course, Cam Studio, and my personal favorite, the Vegas programs, mostly Vegas 7. And the best advice when you use any of those programs is try to make sure you have an updated version, or at least a version that will allow you to, if you choose to, allow you to render in HD, because it gives you a lot of options. You see, the options a program like, say, Vegas or any program like that has HD rendering to it can do is it allows you to choose, what high definition format you want, whether it's 720 or 1080. And sometimes you can choose between the 1440 1080 or the 1920 1080, whatever your preference is. As well as you could choose what file you would like to associate with it. You can choose MPEG-2, you could choose Windows, you could choose AVI, you name it. A majority of the formats you can use. MPEG-1, probably only for 720, and that's it. Another piece of advice, if you're doing a fan vid based around the Sonic franchise, or any franchise, as a matter of fact, but mostly Sonic in this case, is you want to make sure that if you have a theme, you stick to that theme. For example, if you're doing a fan vid like I did today, and you're currently seeing here on YouTube, I'm just checking outside. But like I said, you currently see here on YouTube. One of the things, again, like I was saying, you want to pick a theme. Like I was trying to say, Whether it's like, say, a Sonic Girls theme, like I did this morning with the Fanvid, These Sonic Girls Are on Fire. You always want to pick a theme, as well as you want to give each character equal opportunity. Whether it means showing them once, whether it's showing all the Sonic Girls you have pictures of once, or you want to show them twice or 3 times. You want to try to give each character equal opportunity. Now, of course, when you upload your vid, if that was the case, of course you'll have some people asking, well, where's this character, where's that character? And you can't always please everybody, but you always want to try to give a character, if it has a character theme, opportunity. Also, you want to make sure that the song you're using matches up with that character. In this case, This Girl's on Fire by Alicia Keys matches up with it. Now, another thing is, if you're doing a fan vid, but let's say has sort of an action-like environment, you want to make sure you pick an action-like song to go with that action theme. See, about 9 years ago, when I did The Touch, the Saturday AM Doomsday Project video, or fan vid, I did it, and I included scenes from all 4 episodes of what is considered the Doomsday Project saga, or pieced together very carefully, the Doomsday Project movie. And it looked magnificent. It looks tremendous. But again, that goes back to making sure you pick the theme right. And also, if you're using clips, you want to make sure you use the right clips to match up with the song. And basically, that's all there is to it. Again, you want to choose your song, but also do your you want to research through YouTube, Wikipedia, and Google, and Bing to see whether the song would be playable and allowed on YouTube, on a site like YouTube. 2, you want to pick your program that you could trust, and best advice, if the program allows HD, do HD. 3, you want to make sure you pick a theme, as well as you want to keep, and 3, make sure you pick a theme, or 4, I should say, whatever, 3 or 4, you want to pick a theme and give, if it's a character theme, make sure each character has opportunity, and 4, if it's an action-like theme, clip using animated or live-action clips, make sure the clips are used. Make sure the best clips that will work with that song are used. That's basically what you need to do. Now, if you want to do a title, it's real simple. Depending on the program you use, you could do it 2 ways. When I used the ULED program, as many of you see with, let's say, the Touch video and Dare, Air, the ones around SatAM and Sonic X and all that, you usually see the songs in the title in the corner, sort of like in the form of a music video. You see the title, you see what it's about, you see who sang it, whatever. You can choose to do that if you want to do a music video, want to do a fan vid similar to an actual music video. Another thing, though, is if you're using something like, say, Vegas Studio, or one of the Vegas programs, I should say, one of the Sony Vegas programs, or if you're using something like Windows or whatever program you use, maybe you're using the program that James Wolfe uses for his nerd videos. What you want to do, quite honestly, if you will, you want to make a title before the video. So you want to make the title of what the video is about. Like with my video this morning, I said, These Sonic Girls on Fire, and sometimes that's what a title can be. A title can be a play on to the song that you're using. Or it can just be straight up the song title itself. Also, depending on which program you choose, you want to make sure you have a background as well. And sometimes that will work, and sometimes it won't. It all depends on exactly how you do it. And sometimes if you don't want to deal with the frustration of a background, if you will, just go with plain text. Colorize, fancy it up if you want to, that's fine. Again, as an example, check the latest Fanvid that I did. Check the latest Fanvid that I did. Now, the one last piece of advice I do have. As you're creating your Fanvid, make sure that whatever you are using, let's say if you're using a clip or you're using pictures, whatever, make sure that whatever you use does not cause your program to crash. That's the best advice I have. Best advice, make sure you use a picture or a clip that doesn't cause your program to crash. Now, along with that, the most important thing along with this piece of advice is make sure after you add a picture or a scene, if you will, always make sure to save your work. So that way, if what I just mentioned does happen, if you, let's say you choose a clip or a picture that when you try to use it causes your program to crash and you have to restart, at least you will be able to restart where you saved off of. You'll be able to go to your open folder and open up the saved file. Now, one other thing to go along with this advice. One other last piece of advice I should say. It wasn't really a last piece of advice, but this is. This is the very last piece of advice. If you're using a program like Vegas, like Sony Vegas or ULED or whatever, and you're doing it in HD, best advice, if it does mess up a little bit, let's say you're rendering it, and it suddenly stops and says it can't do it anymore, and you wonder, could it be a picture? Best advice, replace it with a similar picture, or another picture of the character. And if that doesn't work, best advice overall, turn the computer off and restart it. Turn it off, shut it down like you're shutting it down for the night, turn it back on, let it set itself back up, go back to your program after the computer's all set back up. Basically, it's been started back up again and it's all set again. Go back to your video making program or video movie making program. Reopen the file, and then here's what you do: you render it again, and it should go through this time. But to be on the safety side, if let's say you're doing, if you want, on the safety side, always do the 480 standard, and then if you got some kind of converting program online or on your computer, use that, if you will, to convert it to your high definition portions if you want to. Best converting program to use right now, audio video converter, in my opinion. But basically, that's just my bit of advice on how to make a Sonic Fanvid or a Fanvid of any kind. So let me know what you guys think. Comment down below if you want, and I'll talk to you.